Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys. We've got a little late night crypto technical analysis action where anything goes. So FOMC reaction. What did Powell say? We raised rates 0.25 basis points, and the key was it's still on the table to continue raising later in the year. And people were looking at the potential of the pressure that the banks were under to have the Fed perhaps pause or pivot. He said cuts are not on the table. And so now we have to watch the financial sector again for potential fear. And we also had Yellen saying, now this isn't a blanket backstop for all the banks. So very interested to see if we still get a run out of all these regional banks and if there's more that go under like FRC. Anyways, SPY had a big bearish reaction, closed at the low of the day, and we're going to be watching to see how much bear follow through do we get from here. Do we head back to the recent lows? So with that, gold had a bullish reaction. Gold trying to set the daily higher low, silver hitting new highs. I mentioned them because when this banking fiasco all started, money left the financial sector. It went into big tech, it went into metals, it went into Bitcoin, and the metals are benefiting from today, and Bitcoin was not benefiting from today. That said, Bitcoin daily consolidation was very due. We had a rising wedge where bulls were just showing us exhaustion. What does exhaustion looks like? Exhaustion looks like when you break one candle, multiple candles of consolidation. One candle, multiple consolidation. One candle, consolidation. One candle, consolidation. There's no follow through. You break, and that's a great time to short. You short the break, and you sell and take some profit quickly after. Because the bulls kept control while we were grinding up until today, but that just shows tired. Bulls are tired. And so now we rolled over and the daily consolidation is finally underway. A lot of people were waiting for daily consolidation to be looking for entries and they didn't want to chase. So we had hourly oversold conditions. We have been seeing 15-minute oversold conditions. Listen to the peepers. You're going to be hearing a lot of that over the next couple of months. The frogs are out. So we had 15-minute oversold conditions mark the bottom 5 times in the last week. And finally, it came to hourly oversold. So right now we've got a 15-minute equilibrium forming. Stair-step drop, stair-step bounce, higher low, lower high. We're just tightening up in an equilibrium. If the 15-minute equilibrium breaks bull, we're going to look to the hourly EMA 12 resistance test. And we're going to be eventually looking for a 4-hour lower high. So the question is, can bears confirm trends in their favor, or is this a sucker punch? And by sucker punch, I mean bears come out of nowhere, they sucker punch the bulls. Now the bulls are stunned, but they get their wits about them. Do the bulls now take over? Is that bottom now set? Does hourly oversold mark the daily higher low? We know in the strongest uptrends, the answer is yes, that's what happens. So we're going to have to see whether that happens or not. We also know that we're going to be keeping an eye out for 4-hour oversold conditions eventually. And so if we do not set a bottom here and we see another leg down, we're going to be watching for 4-hour oversold conditions, a test of daily EMA 12 support, and we'll take it from there. For me personally, at this point, I was driving home at the end of the market day today and missed the hourly oversold entry. So at this point, I'm just remaining patient. I'm in no rush to jump in here. If we did see another leg down, I would get interested in 4-hour oversold conditions, but going to just be patiently observing. Not feeling any FOMO at the moment, and essentially just watching to see how significant is this consolidation going to be. We also just had news from Coinbase. This is not really related to Bitcoin, but Coinbase just got a letter from the SEC essentially saying, hey, things are coming. Whether that's a fine, whether that's legal action, Coinbase definitely is likely going to be accused of listing securities, and they're probably going to have to stop trading a whole bunch of coins. But you can see after hours, it got ugly. We were already down 8% today, and we dropped 15% after hours. So bears out in full force on Coinbase, something to keep an eye on. Again, not directly going to impact Bitcoin, but something to keep an eye on. The dominance chart was showing Bitcoin leading the way because, again, the narrative was money out of the banks and into metals, Bitcoin, big tech. And so we saw some consolidation now. And on this consolidation, it's essentially some altcoins played enough catch up so that the dominance chart dropped a little bit. Ripple had a big move we're going to talk about in just a minute. And we just got a couple coins at a time seeing their turn. They get a turn of a big pump. They stand out. You can see right now, just looking at the list. Well, never mind. The day just closed and rolled over. But there are just, 2 coins that are up 6, 7%. Everything else is down 3 to 7%, 3 to 10%. And so there's just a few names that stand out, and that's enough to have the dominance chart consolidate a little bit. But obviously, overall, Bitcoin is remaining very strong. There's a lot of altcoins that have weekly lower highs as the most likely scenario right now. I mean, we can go down the list. We'll do that at the end here. We'll go down the list, and I'll show you how many altcoins weekly lower high is the most likely scenario. ETH has technically confirmed a daily downtrend. We had the top, we double topped, daily higher low, we triple topped. That was a nice short, and I missed that one as it was happening. Not that I could have shorted it, but we had the hourly RSI getting overbought. We had the 15-minute RSI up in the 80s. If you're heading into resistance, and it's already a double top of resistance, and you're overbought on the hourly, and you're overbought on every time frame under that, it's worth a top fish. Very small risk. If you stop out, you lose $10, and the reward has the potential of being very significant. And that was the case here. So we did confirm a daily downtrend. At this point, the bulls are hoping to hold daily EMA 12, hourly oversold conditions, trying to get this bounce going. If bulls can clear 1744, the initial bounce high, we zoom out, we scout a 4-hour lower high. There's also a downtrending support line that I'm going to be keeping an eye on right there. And we can draw a channel here. So let's do that. Channel. Boom. Visual guide. So going to scout a 4-hour lower high to be the result of this bounce. If I'm a bear, I want to see the EMAs reject the price and cross bearish here. I want to see the lower high and another leg down. When's the last time Bitcoin confirmed a 4-hour downtrend? It's been a while. Well, no, I take that back. We did see one recently that had no follow through. And it was right here. Lower high, lower low with no follow through. But again, same thing. Can the bears confirm the 4-hour downtrend? Because right now we've got this tightening range on the verge of breaking bull for some hourly oversold bounce follow through. Then we zoom out, scout the 4-hour lower high, one time frame at a time. First it was the 15-minute, then we zoom out to the hourly, and then we'll zoom out to the 4-hour. ETH BTC is still weak. So we had a bounce, very short-lived, inside bars on the daily time frame, and those inside bars have to break bull for the ETH bulls to show us anything. And again, just to keep bringing it up, the 2-week time frame of this pairing, we were watching it for months and months and months and months and months and months and months, and it finally broke bear, and we got a significant amount of follow through from that. And it was sector-wide volatility, and it showed us Bitcoin was the bull to be in. Yes, ETH went up, it just went up way less than Bitcoin did. So we'll watch to see how long we stay weak on these BTC pairings. But for right now, it's a potential daily bear flag with the current bounce attempt. Litecoin is standing out. Litecoin is trading so unusually right now because if you look at the FOMC reaction, this is when stocks dumped, maybe a little bit later. Stocks dumped right about here. Bitcoin dumped here. And Litecoin said, nah, we're not going to do that. We're going in the opposite direction. And again, it's another top fishing play where you've already got a double top established. It's the same thing as Ethereum. Double top here. And look at what was happening when we tested it. The hourly RSI was overbought. The 15-minute RSI was pushing 80. The 5-minute RSI was pushing 80. We rejected right off that resistance, and we quickly dropped a few percent. The bears didn't get much follow through, but if you're going off the 5-minute stair step, which would have triggered right here as the bear entry, and then you stick your stop over the high, it's a 2% win. So bulls are attempting to form a bull flag and break this resistance. It's a daily equilibrium. There's a handful of altcoins that have this daily equilibrium. Higher low, lower high, higher low, trying to break resistance and knocking on the door of that resistance. And LTC BTC was as bearish as you can get, and it just reached a climax bottom. The RSI got down to 15. And again, it was the same thing. LTC, BTC, weekly, tightening, 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 finally breaks, tons of follow through. But the bounce is notable. So we'll see how much follow through we get. 4 hour, technically hasn't confirmed an uptrend yet because this was a lower low. When you see these names pump, they get their short-lived pumps. Well, if they're going to be short-lived, you got to watch the BTC pairing and it's got to confirm trends. So LTC, BTC must confirm a 4 hour uptrend if this move is going to have any follow through. Because we've seen plenty of these quick little pump and dumps. OMG. Remember last video, why is OMG pumping? This makes no sense. We're getting delisted from Coinbase and here's the result is, okay, yeah, it didn't make sense. And it's the market stayed irrational for maybe an extra 6 hours, but it finally caught up and that was a huge pullback. So anybody that said, this move does not make any sense, I'm looking for a short, we dropped over 30% in a couple of days from there. So now we're scouting a daily high or low, and we'll watch for an equilibrium. But my point is, when these names pump, XRP, daily falling wedge, huge bull move on potential rumors or news out of the court case. Look at XRP BTC. 4 hour move, great. Big follow through, gave it back. No trend change. So it's a bit of a pump and dump. And that's why we have pulled back 15, 16% from that high. Because we did not change any trend. We pumped and gave it back. You've got to change the trends in the BTC pairing of these altcoins and follow through. What's the spotlight that we talk about? The spotlight is when the BTC pairing is doing exactly what the US dollar pairing is doing. So if the US dollar pairing is in a 4 hour uptrend and a daily uptrend, the BTC pairing has to do that same thing and correlate directly. Because if we're not, it's a pump and fade. So we're going to look for OMG and XRP to give us daily higher lows, but it's not your ideal kind of sustained move. It's the kind of move you want to, get in, get your piece of the pie, get out, and look for the next trade opportunity, because this isn't the kind of move that you want to hold for, hope to hold for a week. Unless you like sitting through 15% drawdowns, but I certainly don't. APT, so another one with a little bit of a pump right now. Just a short-term little pump here on the 4 hour. It's not even as significant as I thought it was. But APT, BTC, 4 hour, cool, nice move. Gotta change the trend if this move is going to have any follow through. So there are a handful of names that have that same Litecoin daily equilibrium. Let's go through real quick and see who else has that. APT broke it bare, technically a daily downtrend with no follow through. Still holding on waves, it looks like. 206, little double bottom. Still a tightening daily range on waves. BNB had the daily pullback. There goes Litecoin. So there's Litecoin's bull break. And people look at Litecoin and say, oh, the halving's coming up, blah, blah, blah. Like that may be the case, but you can't just turn on and turn off a narrative like that. If the halving in July is the reason we're pumping right now, then LTC BTC wouldn't have dropped 30% in 2 weeks. You can't just apply the narrative when you want in terms of something that's bigger picture and months away. Like, oh, we're ripping right now on the FOMC reaction because the halving's in July. No. If that were the case, this never would have happened. Everybody forgot about the halving, and now they remember on the FOMC reaction? No. So, who else are we looking at? So ADA had the tightening daily range that broke bull. So this is essentially Litecoin is trying to follow ADA. ADA had news about Snoop Dogg NFTs that helped that bull move take place yesterday. ADA, BTC, no trend change yet. Nice move off the low. You've got to follow through. Ape had the tightening range break bare. Doge is still a tight. Nah, take that back. Not Doge. SHIB might be. Matic is still tight, trying to set this daily higher low. double top, double bottom. SHIB is real tight, trying to set the daily high or low at support. OP is a daily equilibrium, trying to set the daily high or low. So a few names, again, there was a group of them. Some names broke bear, like Ape. Ape had the tightening daily range break bear. Some names are breaking bull, ADA, LTC, and a few of the names, OP, SHIB, they're still tight. So let's go to the weekly time frames right now, just so I can show you the altcoins that are likely to form lower highs here. So APT, I would call anything under 2040 a weekly lower high. And that is 50% away. So a weekly lower high is the most likely scenario. Waves, anything under 339 is a weekly lower high. Sol, anything under 2712 is a weekly lower high. So if the broader market's going to pull back a bit, and if Bitcoin's going to keep consolidating on the daily, these names are likely going to shape up weekly lower highs. Even LTC, nice strong move today, but anything under 105 is a weekly lower high. Link, anything under 840. So if I'm anticipating weekly lower highs, I then zoom in and look for bearish patterns on the shorter term time frames that confirm or deny that thesis. So here's a potential 12-hour rising wedge on Link. If this 12-hour rising wedge breaks bearish, then the weekly lower high is likely being set. It's also a potential head and shoulders if we were to bounce from here. And this is what I do, like if I'm looking for trades, this is how I do it. Okay, I'm scouting a weekly lower high, theta, let's zoom in. Where's the bearish pattern on theta? Well, we already confirmed the daily downtrend, so that already played out. Dot's looking for a weekly lower high. Atom, weekly lower high already set, confirmed the daily loss of support. Sushi, weekly lower high set. ADA, anything under 42 is a weekly lower high. Ape doesn't even have a weekly bounce underway. So we're in an environment right now where there's some market environments with crypto and with stocks where everything's doing the same thing. There are periods in time where SPY, QQQ, where all sectors in stock market are doing the same thing. There are times when crypto, they're all doing the same thing to varying degrees. Right now, we're in a market environment which is much more tricky and it requires individual analysis. There are times where I can analyze Bitcoin and I know what everything else is doing for the most part. But we've got altcoins in daily downtrends. We've got altcoins in daily uptrends. We've got altcoins in daily equilibriums. We've got altcoins with weekly lower highs set. We got altcoins with weekly higher highs already hit. It's the most diverse setup of altcoins that I can recall in a very long time. So that means you got to take a little extra time. You know, if you're a crypto only trader, you got to take a little bit of extra time to go through the whole list because there's going to be good bear setups, good bull setups at the same time. When everything's the same and uniform in crypto, if Bitcoin's looking bullish, there aren't any bear setups anywhere. But that's not the case right now. Doge is a potential weekly bear flag. Mana is certainly looking for a weekly lower high, anything under 84. So let's zoom in. Any bearish pattern on Mana? Well, I see a head and shoulders potentially forming. If we form a daily high or low compared to 5.4, I'm going to scout a daily lower high, anything under 6.8, to see if the bears can confirm the daily downtrend, to confirm the weekly lower high is set. And keep an eye on the dominance chart for Bitcoin because that's going to, as long as this stays strong, I'm just treating this like if it were a stock or a crypto. Is this going to be a bull flag? Are we going to hold EMA 12? Because we know there's been a lot of downward pressure on these altcoins recently, aside from these one-off pops that we're seeing. And so the question is, does that remain the case? Does the narrative stay strong where people are interested in Bitcoin due to the banking situation? Or do Bitcoin profits go around into altcoins? And again, right now we're seeing a few altcoins get their pops, but certainly not sector-wide. That Litecoin bull break had no follow-through. Hourly stair step, the last 7 hours. Might be time for hourly consolidation here. All right. Appreciate you watching. Hope you had a good day. Again, overall, Bitcoin, no red flags. Keep it simple. If daily EMA 12 is support, the retracement size of this consolidation, no red flags. Lose daily EMA 12, okay, then we need to start considering that things may be shifting. But so far, hourly oversold, bounce is underway, 3% plus bounce. Zooming out, we'll see what kind of retracement we get on this bounce. Is it 50% plus on the 4-hour bounce? Or do we reject from EMAs and drop down and they cross bearish? Do good things.